From page M-87, this presentation will cover problem 3-20. As we move further into the management accounting section, things will start to get a little more complicated. At this point, we will be looking at simple product costing and inventory values. This chapter uses job order costing, which is one of the simplest methods of tracking costs of products. The problem provides information on the company that converts automobiles to armored cars. Since each car is custom made, the job order costing is a natural fit for this kind of operation. Jumping down to requirement A, the book asks, what is the cost of the beginning work in process inventory for March 2004? From your reading, you should remember that the beginning work in process is projects that were still being completed at the end of the prior fiscal period. In this case, the fiscal period is the prior month, and the beginning work in process inventory is right there in the book. The format on your screen looks just like the data available in the problem, so the numbers fit right onto the screen. Direct materials listed at $24,000, which goes on the first line of the screen. Direct labor is listed as $9,000, which goes on the next line. Manufacturing overhead of $5,400 goes on the bottom line, and the total, which is generated by a pre-entered formula, is $38,400. This is the answer to requirement A. Requirement B asks for the cost of the ending work in process inventory for March 2004. Jumping down a screen is a format that can be used to calculate the ending work in process inventory. Since the calculation needed starts with the beginning work in process inventory, there's already a formula there that brought the $38,400 calculated in requirement A to where it needs to be. The best way to calculate job costing is to keep each job separate through the process and then subtract the total amount that the job costs when it is completed. The bottom line in the problem, just below the requirements, tell us that job 2727 was completed and sold in March, and job 2728 was not completed. So back to the screen, the job 2727 costs will be entered from the book as $8,000 for direct material, $4,000 for direct labor, and $2,400 for manufacturing overhead. The formula below those numbers results in $14,400 being added to job 2727 during the month of March. That also means that the same amount is added to total work in process inventory. Below job 2727 is job 2728, with $11,000 in direct material, $6,000 in direct labor, and $3,600 in manufacturing overhead. The total for job 2728 in March is $20,600. This, of course, is also added to the work in process inventory. The next line down contains a formula that adds the beginning balance of $38,400 to the $14,400 for job 2727 and the $20,600 for job 2728. Since the requirement says to calculate the ending balance for work in process, and the book indicates that job 2727 was completed and sold, the total amount of job cost for job 2727 needs to be subtracted from work in process. The formula in that cell sums the beginning work in process, which was all job 2727, and the March job 2727 costs. That number is subtracted from the $73,400 of work in process, leaving $20,600 still there. Not coincidentally, since there are only two jobs involved, the ending balance for work in process is left only with the amount of money spent on job 2728. Some students just decide to skip adding all the numbers up and then subtracting the job being moved out from work in process. But to illustrate the correct flow of costs, the problem should be done in the manner on the screen. Now jumping down the screen again, there's a format to answer both C1 and C2. That format illustrates the monies in work in process at the beginning of March and to the added costs accrued in March for job 2727, Since both of those numbers were calculated above, the answer to C1 is already there for it. C2 asks how job 2727 would appear on the March 2004 financial statements. Since the job was completed and sold, it would appear as part of the cost of goods sold on the income statement.